Well, good morning and welcome. Welcome to the last week of 2022. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning to my co-host Trish. Good morning and welcome. And we are here for today's Think About Thursday and part of Wednesday Wellness. Trish set us off on a good start the other day when we were all here live. I see you. And if you want to go ahead and call in so we can, Thank you so much there. There you are. Good morning. And we want to say good morning to you. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. So we are at our last week of 2022, and we have made it. This is where on Friday we say Friyay. It's not Friday, but we won't be here Friday because I know that many of you will be out of town, many of you will be celebrating, and we want to honor your celebrations by giving you a break. But if you're longing to hear Vibe Talk, we are Vibe Talk Facing the Lions, or the Lion. And if Tricia, if you go ahead and put all of the information on both sides, that would be great. And hashtag Vibe Talk Facing the Lions, because that's where you'll find us. I want to read something to you as we think about Thursday. And notice something that it says. We cannot really know what a new year will bring. So the least we can do is to be grateful for all the things that had been. May it be trials or gains, confidence or fears, failures or success, and welcome the coming year with prayers in our hearts that whatever shall come, we will learn from its impact, which shall lead us to that understanding that life is all about learning and realizing, living meaningfully, and living fulfilled with peace. The thought there is what was our past. And we can rightfully say that after this weekend, 2022 will be the past. So what have we learned? I am so thankful, which is how we have always opened up Vibe Talk. I'm thankful that this year I have survived it. Trish, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for change that I had this year. I wasn't expecting to change a lot, but I have in a good way.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. We can be thankful or not be thankful. It is really a choice. We've been talking about it all year, and now we have reached the end of 2022. As you look back, what have you learned? As you look back, what has impacted you? As you look back, what trial did you get through? And if not, how are you working on coming through? What did you gain? And what confidence did you build? What fear did you overcome? You've heard us ask every Friday, what challenge did we face? And really it is lion's strength to overcome those things. We want you to know that facing the lions for any of us is always the challenge. But let me ask you, have you truly been up to the challenge? Or has our podcast been one that you just listen to because it's good listening? Or what have you done about it? We hope that this year has brought you impact. We hope that this year has made you more grateful. We hope that you are understanding and comprehending yourself. Foremost, the understanding of yourself is the understanding of others. I'm going to say that again. Pull your chair up a little closer. The understanding of yourself is the understanding of others. I want you to think about that for a moment. Has it brought you comprehension, connection to yourself? Because to understand and to know yourself a little bit better, that, my friends, is growth. So in a short, have you grown? 2022, 365 days of inner work. You know, we talked about resolutions. Everybody's going to make a resolution. They're going to resolve. They're going to say what they're going to do. But you know, Vibe Talk takes it a step further, because Vibe Talk has learned through experience. Everything we ever have told you here, we've either experienced it or we have heard someone else's experience that we learned from. And we don't want you to miss the point of Vibe Talk. Oh yeah, it gets really raw and real in here. And as I said, when I first started Vibe Talk, and you can go back to November 2021, possibly December, and you can hear me say, many of you will not be up to the challenge. Why? Because some of the questions that are asked in here, you would have to probe yourself. That means really look into your soul of your mirror to be able to answer honestly. And I'm going to be very truthful. Honesty is hard for a lot of people. You know, people point the fingers at other people. The finger, whatever finger you choose. But life always says that while you point one finger back, you have 4 pointing back at you. Judging other people. We've all done it. We've all done it. But when you think about judging other people, it makes you look at yourself. Makes you look at yourself. I know for me, has that been for you, Trish, or what's been your experience when you've thought to judge someone else? If that's been for you.
When I thought to judge other people, it's like, it's funny because it's not haha funny, but it's like, it's easier to judge a book by its cover than to read my own pages. And I've been guilty of that. It's because, like you said, honesty is hard. So I'd rather give others advice or tell them what to do instead of doing it myself.
Mm-hmm. It's easiest to tell others what to do. And that's why we don't tell others what to do in Vibe Talk. I'm glad you said that. You decide for yourself what is going to be best for you. But in that challenge of making yourself better than you were the day before, have you bested yourself? Because we've noticed that so many people have come in and out. Some stay. Have you noticed that, Trish?
Yes, I have.
And then some are regulars. We knew that was going to happen. But we ask that when you come into Vibe Talk, if you're not listening and you don't have the time to listen at that moment, because we're on here as a podcast for roughly an hour, 45 minutes. We ask that you come back to the recording when you think you've got some time and really key in. Here's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see, and I know it's going to happen, people come in regularly. Spend a week with us and see the impact or the motivation or the inspiration that we promise to be. Because we really don't know what next year is going to bring, but we do remember the past. We spend a lot of time in our lives thinking about what happened in the past. But I want you to look forward to something with your future in mind. What will you do for the new year? Will you just talk about what you want to do? Dream about what you'd like to do? Or even think of the possibilities? Or will you move it into action to inspire other people? See, that's what we've done. We can say that we have motivated people. We're so thankful. But can it be said from you? And we're speaking of generally you, that you have committed yourself to inspire, motivate, and be positive, whatever you're going through. We've made an opportunity for you to come here. We've given you direct connect. Our direct connect is 661-503-8993. That is strictly for Vibe Talk. No personal number, but a public number. So we can say that we've made it possible for you to come in. We've made it possible for you to tell us your story. And when we say story, there are no bedtime stories here, no fairy tales here. There is no smoking mirrors here, where we tell you something and we do another. These are real life stories. So we're going to be changing our statement from "we want to hear your stories" to "please tell us your experience." We want to hear from you. Because you see, it's you that can inspire in the year 2023. Just like you've done in 2022. Many of you have inspired us. Your stories have been, your experiences have been truly impactful. Truly unforgettable. Too many to even count. Because you see, it's like having a mystery. Though you're not a mystery, you've come to understand. If you've been in Vibe Talk for more than a week, you understand how we do Vibe Talk. Many people say, well, Vibe Talk is Vibe Talk, but you don't let us talk. No, yeah, we do. We do let you talk. And talk and talk and talk. We've even created for you an interactive podcast. I like that. That has helped me so much to listen, to key into. Some of you are doing some amazing things. Some of you have overcome such lion-like challenges. We want to say thank you for sharing your experiences. Why? Because your experience educates. And Vibe Talk is all about educating your mindset to do better, be better, live better. Because you see, we say you are possible. We ask this question. You've heard this question if you've been at Vibe Talk. We've even had you say you're possible. At this time, at the close of 2022, does that still ring loud with you? That you're not impossible. You are possible. I want you to understand that. You live with purpose. You've been through trials. We want you to understand that your mistakes are not failure. Your mistakes teach you. You have something to learn. You have something to bring to the table when you call into Vibe Talk and say, we've had this happen before. Remember, Trish, when the man called and said that he used to drink and he had a car accident? We didn't say, well, you failed. He said he learned from that. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And we didn't take that as, wow, I can't believe he did that. You know what we said? Wow, he really learned something. The best part about that story, his experience, was that he made it out of that situation alive, able to tell us. And that's what we hope that you do. We've made Vibe Talk Reels. We've made so many adjustments in our schedule. And we want 2023 to leave you fulfilled, to leave you with peace of mind. Oh, we're no experts. We are ordinary people, just like you. And we want other people to know that Vibe Talk has nothing but ordinary people. We've told you our names. You've heard names of people that you never even thought about because you didn't know them to think about them. Why did we do that? Because everyone has a story. I'm going to tell you about Joe. If you haven't heard about Joe, Joe has made viral news, a man in his 60s. And to be quite honest, I was not aware of New York going through a deep freeze as if I live under a rock. But Joe lived in Buffalo, New York, where there is a deadly snowstorm. There was a woman found Joe, frostbitten and really in bad condition. Now, you don't know Joe, and I don't know Joe, knows Joe. Think about that. How many times in your day have you run across somebody that you actually help them save their lives? You want to hear more about Joe? Just type it in. Joe in the Buffalo, New York snowstorm. Why did I not know about that? Because so much going on, but I was truly impacted by Joe's story. Because you see, Joe was stuck in that snowstorm. Had he been left there, nobody would have known Joe. But now he is virally. We are so thankful that Joe is now recovering in the hospital and didn't die. Our condolences to the people that were affected, that were impacted from Buffalo, New York. Good morning, Raid. Good morning. I thought that I clicked you. We want to make our phone calls impactful because we have people listening. You don't believe us? You go and check out our Vibe Talk Reels. Go and see how many countries and cities and states people have come from, near and far. It's impactful. It has changed lives. We know this. We want to say thank you to people. Trish, do you have anybody to say thank you to? Ray, you can call in again. I was trying to click your number in or click you in, and it didn't let me, so please feel free. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, caller. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Superior, good morning. Where are you listening in from?
Ma'am.
Good morning. Let's take a moment real quick to welcome those who are coming in. Good morning. If you guys that are joining, please tell us where you are from, what state, please and thank you. Please and thank you. What state are you listening in from? Go ahead, caller.
I just wanted to, I'm from California.
Okay.
We just welcomed before. I just want to thank you for all the positivity that you have given everybody.
You're welcome.
Because it's 2022, it flew by like a plane.
Yeah.
It just, like, what happened?
Yeah.
Like, it was just, it was all of a sudden it was here, now it's gone.
Mm-hmm. So true.
You know? You know, it's sad to say it. Some of us have lost people in 2022, but the ones that are here, we still talk to each other like we made it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. And I think it's a good...
You know, like, I've had a couple friends that have been shot. I got stabbed. And we're still here.
We're so grateful for you still being here.
Right, thank you. And what you do on your live stream, I honestly tip my hat. I take my hat off to that. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
People need to hear this.
We appreciate that. Trish, do you have anything you want to say to our caller, Ray?
I just appreciate when you come in here and your support. It's very impactful when we have our regulars. It's always a joy to have you. Thank you.
Yeah. And we appreciate you being a regular caller as well as a regular listener. You've been with this since it started, right? And
Yes,
so,
ma'am.
Go ahead. I don't want to talk over you. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. But I have been a regular listener. Every time I seen your live, I always want to punch in and just say hi.
I love it. We love that. So people are impacted. Raid, who is our regular caller or regular listener, is telling you from experience. I want to ask you something, Raid.
Yes, ma'am.
What have you learned from Vibe Talk?
First and foremost, I just honestly got to say it has changed my vision of what my life used to be. Because I was in the streets. I was selling drugs, doing drugs, gang banging, this and that. And when I got to sit back and actually listen to some actual vision that I could open my eyes with, it let me learn. And you helped me a lot with that, man.
Well, I
feel like I kind of want to call you mama. For real.
Well, if you have learned something, we thank you. Because that's our message, really, that you learned something from this.
Right.
That it may change your life and that you tell us your experiences because your experiences help. And I'm going to tell you why they help when you're honest. And you've been so honest to say that. You know, there's always somebody who has been through what you've been through. And maybe there's somebody who is still living that life.
And you know what's crazy is, alright, so like I mind my own business now. I don't wear the gang colors I used to wear. But I mind my own business. I try to stay humble. But I still get people that recognize me. And some of them are youngsters. They want to take pictures with me. They ask my autograph. Like, what? Nah, I'm not a star, yo. And, but at the same time, I'm gonna be humble. The youngsters, they learning, and you know, it just feels good to see like the younger neighborhood not being in the streets like I was, but rather skateboarding or bicycling or, you know what I mean, doing what they do.
Yes.
Fishing, hiking, whatever. You know, you don't need to be in the street like that.
And you know what? We're glad that you're here to tell us your experience, because a lot of young people key in and listen to, and you've been so honest, hasn't he, Trish? He's been so honest with us.
Yes,
I
you
mean,
have.
there's no reason for me to lie, man.
Yeah. But so many people, you know, we want you to come and listen. Raid has told us heart-gripping experiences that he's been through. If you can learn from that, you can learn. If you can learn from that, you can learn.
It's about to be 2023. I'm about to be 37. It's never too late to change your mind ways.
I want you to repeat that again.
It is never too late to change your mind ways.
I had you do that for emphasis. Thank you.
And that's true.
Very
true.
true.
I mean, I feel if you're thinking doubtful of yourself, look in the mirror for at least 10 minutes.
Self-reflection.
Yup.
Go ahead with that. We hear you. We hear you.
Look in the mirror. Talk shit to yourself.
So true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I rap. Sometimes I rap battle myself in the mirror just to make myself better.
Love it.
It might work, it might not.
But you do it, and that's the point. You're doing it to better yourself, and that's what we learn from you. That you had to walk that journey that you walked. And we understand. You know what I most remember about you while we have you online? When you told me how your friend had died from the shooting and how that blood was in your eyes. Let me tell you how we're impacted. Because we don't forget your stories. We do not forget those stories. And for you to have come through that and be able to say what you said today, we applaud you. We thank you because, you know, there's so many people that have gone through that same walk, but maybe different circumstances, and they didn't come out. They didn't survive that. And we thank you that you're able to do that. Mr. Mango, good morning. Good morning, good morning. We want to take a moment to acknowledge everyone that comes in. Mr. Mango, where are you listening? Where are you listening in from? We're not going to address our audience. Trisha and I are going to do that just to make, let them know. Kansas City. Okay. We know it's cold. I have a nephew that lives there. It's cold. Welcome. Raid. We appreciate you. We look forward
I appreciate you as well.
Thank you. And we look forward to you hanging out with us in 2023. Virtual hugs, my friend. And thank you so much for sharing your experience and your positive message. Keep walking in your light.
Thank you, ma'am. And everybody who's listening, just listen to this beautiful woman. She is an angel.
I don't know about that, but Thank you.
No, I definitely know about that.
Thank you so much.
Right.
You've made us
Look,
smile.
Look. All right, Mama. I'm going to call you Mama now.
We appreciate you. And hey, stop on by.
Yeah,
Start
I definitely will.
a brand new year. Also, I want to tell you guys, look for our Vibe Talk Reels. They will say Vibe Talk Reel, REEL or REELS. Check them out.
REEL.
Yes, Vibe Talk Reels. Trish, you want to put that up for them on both sides? Yeah. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. We're getting such positive feedback. I mean, we're getting 300 people that are looking on and they're impressed by the message that we're sending, and we want to keep that up. Thank you so much. You have touched my heart and my soul. Thank you.
You as well.
Have a good day and stay safe.
You too. Take care, Mama.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. That's what we mean. What we just told you, that's what we mean. Kansas City, Mr. Mango, 2022. What have you learned from 2022? What did you get out of 2022? And that's going to be our Vibe Talk question. You know, Trish and I, when we met, we talked about our Vibe Talk questions being missed. We gave it a break. But it's coming back. Full speed ahead. Mr. Mango, what have you learned? What have you gained out of 2022? What are you going to take away from that year? I want to bring up something that Ray said. I think it's important. He started this conversation out with people that didn't make it. Let's not forget about these people. We talk real talk here. We shade nothing. There have been some lost people. There have been people who have decided that they didn't want to live. There was no purpose, or they were tired of suffering. Do you remember Naomi Judd? The mother to the Judds, country singer. Do you remember that? Let's not forget the people that are hurting. And if we can get them any message, we want it to be a positive message. We paid attention to the people that were at their last straw. I mean, literally. Do you remember the people of Texas, the children? I'm still healing from that. What I want you to know, none of those people had I ever met, but my heart was touched immensely. My heart was broken. Why? Because of someone else suffering, 10 people had to suffer. We impact people's life either for the good or for the bad. What has been yours for 2022? Have you impacted people's life for the good or for the bad? See, we go through life. There was something else our caller said too. Did you catch it, Trish? When he said, it flew by. Do you feel like 2022 has flown by? What do you think, Trish?
I think it has.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it flew by because I appreciate every day more. Mm-hmm. Because years ago I didn't. Mm-hmm. the years would go by slow to me because of, my mindset and depression. But I'm more synergized and I have more things to do. I'm more diligent in my life.
See, we want you to thank you for that. We want you guys to feel your life with purpose. I want to go back to the Texas shooting and the other shootings, the one that happened in the grocery store. Do you recall, Trish, where that was? Was that in New York too? If anybody knows.
I think that was in New York.
People going to school, kids just going to school, just got an award, so happy. I know because I was an educator, I know how that day must have been. See, that comes under the headline of we cannot know. We cannot know what is in our year. We hope for the best. See, because if those children knew and their parents knew, none of them would have come to school that day. But yeah, they came to school. In fact, it was their last day before summer. There was one young mother that their child had been shot and killed. She said, I should have taken my child home. What I would say to that parent is that I would have not thought to take my child home. And every other parent would have thought that too. Why? Because our children, just like we did when we were younger, we wanted to stay behind and be with our friends. Why? Because we knew we were going on summer vacation. You couldn't have known that your child would be shot to death by someone who was suffering from something. And we say the word suffer because hurt people hurt people. And that's why Vibe Talk has been created. For you to be able to come in and say what you've been hurting from. We will listen to you the first time. We are no doctors. We are not experts. I am simply a certified wellness coach. I've been in the education business for more than 16 years. And I've taught a lot of young people. Some of the parents too. They've learned. In fact, my kids that know some of the children that I have worked with, the parents still ask about me. And I say that with humbleness because that's the impact. Their children have long grown up. They're no longer babies. They have grown up. I am so very grateful. I'm so very grateful to have impacted people's life for the good. You see, all of us, you, me, she, him, her, they, we can all impact someone. Let's impact people for the good. Let's start thinking about what's really on our minds. You see, because this young man who wanted others to suffer because he was suffering. And mind you, this is the first time I've ever said anything about that young man. And I want to say this. He was suffering from something. Let's sit down. Let's try to talk to our people, young and old. Take a moment. Remember, we talked about that. Because we really don't know why he wanted to injure them, and I'm not making light of the situation in any way or celebrating that name. I'm simply bringing to you a situation that someone was suffering. Please listen. There are still hurting parents. Do you remember that? Do you remember in that school, the parents outraged because too much time had went by? I'm going to leave that right there. But I will say, many families were lost. They could not have known that that was going to be their last goodbye that morning. One father said this, and I say this with much sadness in my heart. He said that his young person, his daughter, was upset about him eating her ice cream that morning. And you know how we do. We sneak into our kids' stuff because they sneak into ours. And that was just a thing that kids and parents go through, not knowing that that was going to be the last time they would ever have an argument. They rode off in the car and listened to the radio and singing together like we do with our parents. Last goodbye. She was over the ice cream thing. She too lost her life. We want you to think about these people. Let this be the year that you not take for granted your family members. I say that with a pause because I want you to reflect. My mother said something to me last night, and it hit me hard. You just never know. When we're talking to our kids, when our children are talking to us, if that's their last goodbye. Because we don't think about things like that. We take it for granted. You, me, she, they, them. All of us, we take that for granted. But I want you to start thinking about this, and I will too, because I so need to do this as well. Hug them, your children and your parents, like it is no tomorrow. Start doing that. And remember how I said everybody's a fighting family the other day? Let's remember for our healing that when we get into disagreements, family fights, I know a family, some families, that have knocked down physical fights. And that's always disturbed me. It's sad. But I'll say to them, hug your family like there's no tomorrow. Like that's going to be the last time you see them because you don't. Now, we're not talking about morbidity here. We're awakening you. We're helping you to impact your life, to think about it. If you've had an argument just this morning, if you hate your mom and your dad because they ate your ice cream or they did something, they went in your room, hug them like there's no tomorrow. And for us parents, it's a nice reminder too, because nobody could foresee that. Just remember that. We've had some people take their own life, as I said, because I want to talk about that. If you are needing help for suicide prevention, for any kind of crises, the number is 899. Please cross-reference that, Trish, and put it there for them. See, we're not doctors, but we will get you for your states, your counties, your countries. We will stay on the phone with you. We will get you the current help that you want. Just reach out. You know, sometimes a lot of people want to give advice. It is 988. I always get that backwards. Please put on there, Trish, suicide prevention, please, crisis hotline, so anybody coming can have that. Why are we giving you these resources? Because if you're suffering, you need to communicate. Don't give up. You're possible. If it's you that I'm talking to, please know this. I want to talk a little bit about the Judds. Ashley Judd. I've always liked her movies. Thank you so much to my co-host, Trish. Always loved her movies. Here she was at her mom's house. She left for just a second. Whatever she had to do, I don't know the details, but here it is. Her mom, in those moments, took her own life. Now, maybe today, somebody has already taken their own life. Maybe we were moments late. Maybe we were an hour late. But if you're listening to this, we ask you, please, give us a chance to be able to talk, to listen to you. And if you don't want us to talk, we'll just listen, and then we will refer you to the professional people that can really help you. Because I want to tell you something. I'm living proof that a life can be saved. Just because someone listens, someone takes the time to say, you're possible. Maybe you don't believe it today, but we want you to hang on just a little bit longer to believe it tomorrow and the next day. In other words, it will get better. I'm living proof. Do I have bad days? Let me ask that question, Trish. Do you have bad days?
Yes, I do.
Everybody has bad days. You will have bad days, I promise you. If you've had bad days in 2022, you will have them in 2023. But here's the key. You will be able to say, I got through that. Because I think about the times that I wanted to take my life and I was very serious. I got to have children. I got to get married. Divorced too, because you got to take the good with the bad. But you can say, I'm here. I am still standing. I overcame. I now have purpose to live. I come to you with my story in hope that you can take something out of my survival guide and say, you know what? I learned something. Because see, we're not here to be viral. We will put you under a video, or put this under a video that goes, our viral video, because we know you're listening We know you're looking, but we want you to hear us. You know, your heart can feel things. The soul of your heart, the soul of your mirror. And maybe you're going to hear something that helps your life. Maybe you're going to hear something that changes your life for the better. No problem too big, no problem too small, if we just listen. Someone once told me, Miss Nisi, you don't have to be a doctor. And that someone is now my amazing co-host. You see, it's people like her that don't say, who does she think she is to give advice? I'm here to let you know. I'm human. I'm standing. I'm walking on the same ground level. See, the best coaches are people that have been through something. You know, people say, the experts say. And when you find out some of these experts, some of them don't have kids, never been married, but they are still people that can help you. No expert am I. I'm just expert at making mistakes, at going through depression, anxiety, not knowing the answers. Good morning, Kitty. Kitty, good morning. Where are you listening in from, Kitty? And thank you for joining us. We are here simply to be your soundboard. And if you feel like you're reaching out and someone will listen, if that's the day that you took the risk to listen, because we've had people like that have come in looking for something and they found us, we're going to celebrate you for believing in yourself. See, that's what you learn here, to believe in yourself. If you've had nobody to tell you you're doing good, you're going to learn in Vibe Talk to say that to yourself, you're doing good. We want to thank, I have someone that I want to thank as well. Mr. Conley from Edinburgh, United Kingdom, the UK. Thank you so much for liking our Vibe Talk Reels. Thank you. We celebrate life in here. We think about our loved lost ones in here. We think about the people who suffer. It doesn't matter who you are, you've suffered. You've heard us say on our Friday, finally Friday, Facing the Lions, you've heard us talk about challenges people have met. You've heard me talk about in the year 2022, people that have suffered. And if you're out there, and we know that you're out there, we want to hear your experience. Maybe by your talking about it is going to be helpful enough. We talk about the young woman whose baby's father threw her 1-year-old into a river. Why do we bring you stories like this, life experiences like this? Number one, it helps you to think about yourself, your perspective. What if that happened to you? What would you do? It opens your mind to know that you are not the only person that is dealing with something. And yet these people find it in themselves, find it in their faith, find it in whomever to push on, to live on. We want to remember, too, those of whom have been suffering from diseases that have taken them from us. The one for me was Olivia Newton-John, knowing that she had been fighting cancer 30 years. Never gave up. When you saw her, she didn't look sick. You see, her mindset was that she was not cancer. She had cancer, but she was not cancer. We've lost her. We've lost so many others. Trish, can you think of anybody else? You still here?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah. Can you think of anybody else? In 2022, dying from that disease. There's been some others. We don't want to forget you. I want to make mention, too, of the people that were in the grocery store. They couldn't have known that they were going to be shot to death. Nobody thought about that. What if? Some were just simply going to the store to start their day. You know, Saturday, Sunday, you go to the store, you say, oh, I need eggs. Oh, I need some milk or coffee for a creamer or whatever it is. You go to a grocery store, for crying out loud. Not knowing that they were not going to return home ever again. Why do we tell you this? Because we want you to think about what is. Harry says 2023 looking bright. Thank you for that. We appreciate that. Thank you. Where are you listening in from, Harry? See, we like our audiences that come in here. We want you to understand. The man said, as he talked to the person that did the shooting of people's grandmother and mothers and fathers and grandfathers and children, I just talked to that man. Had I known he was going to do that, we could have prevented it. Nobody knew. How could you have known? But we ask you, what if? Not, it didn't happen to me. I don't know those people. We want you to gain empathy. We've talked about that. To feel their sorrow. They're having to bury their loved ones. Their last goodbyes. Because if it didn't happen to you, be thankful. But yet, what if? And that's how we want you to think about your loved ones. You know, our family members, they're going to get on our nerves. I'm going to promise you that. I promise. They're going to get on your nerves. We're going to get on their nerve. But hug them like there is no tomorrow. Because for those people, there wasn't a tomorrow. You know, a lot of people, when holiday time comes, you've got more people that are depressed than more people that are in the spirit of the holiday. You know what I saw? And I want to say this. I went to Walmart the day after Christmas. I saw people taking back their stuff. And I want to say this, and I'm going to leave it right here. The people that are taking their gifts back are taking them back for various reasons. But if I give you a gift, why would you take it back? Wouldn't you value me enough to say, gee, she thought about me? But that's what you see, a long line. I went to get food. Long line in the return section. Now, we don't want to think that everybody's ungrateful, but we want you to think about it, because today is Think About Thursday. We want you to think about that. Did you get a gift that you didn't particularly like or you didn't want? Because, you know, a lot of parents worked hard to get that one toy. Parents worked very hard. Think about that. But there's a lot of people who are still suffering. And that's why we continue on to do Vibe Talk. We're going to be in our year 3. That's amazing. That's amazing. I feel so very blessed to be able to have such a platform that reaches so many people near and far. And as I think about how very blessed I am, I do think about people that are less fortunate. People that have something to say and nobody listens. People that have something to say and they don't know how to get it out. That's why we did and added our Wednesday wellness creation, or what did we do? The expressions through art and expressions class. You're welcome to join us on Wednesdays for that. Because why? We need a healing. So many people are suffering. It's not about us always. If you think it's about you, then I want you to come in to Finally Friday and listen to our edition of Facing the Lions. You're going to learn and discover something about yourself. What is it? That you're not the only one. How about that? Everybody's going through something. We don't say that your problem is bigger than so-and-so's, because your problem is your problem. Whatever emotion, whatever you're facing. What Vibe Talk has done for me, I don't know about you, Trish. I'm going to ask you in a minute. It has prepared me for things that I couldn't have or wouldn't have known. The emotion, the impact. Because if you let a person talk long enough, they're going to teach you something if you listen. See, we have ears, and you hear me say, did you hear me? Of course you heard me. I'm standing right. You can hear me as clear as day. But I mean, when I say, did you hear me? Did you listen? Did you listen? People say, oh, yeah. We listen to you. See, these are not just words to hear myself talk. It's words to heal your suffering. Because words can do a lot. Words are known to break us or make us. And that's why I do Vibe Talk the way I do it. Inspirationally. Because how many of us have stopped and looked at an inspiration? We never forget the impact. And out of these inspirations, I pick out what I want to talk about. And you say, wow, I never looked at it like that before. Now I understand. See, you are the key to understanding and opening up your own box. Your box of possibilities. You know, people say, don't open Pandora's box. I say, open the box that connects to you. You have possibility, purpose. Not just believing, but knowing. If they got through that, wow, I can get through that, though it may be hard. I'm so very grateful for Raid and sharing his life experience. We do not, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot know who's going to call in. We cannot know who's going to tell us an experience that will grip us or an experience that's going to change our lives. We have no way of knowing because Trish does not have a script. Do you, Trish? Do you have a script?
Nope.
I don't have one. So we're grateful. Don't be afraid. Don't run away from yourself. Connect to yourself. Because you're going to learn how to connect with other people. You know, people love to give advice. They'll give you all kind of advice. Should I buy the house? No, don't buy that house. They'll tell you why you shouldn't do something. Vibe Talk is not going to tell you that. You're going to learn and discover by talking it out. You're going to be able to think on your own. Because we cannot know what you're thinking. But what we do know is when you have a mindset to think on your own, you say, aha, I got it. I needed to hear this. I understand it. It's meaningful and it has caused your life inner peace. When you understand something, you're not so frustrated. You're not so mad. You don't feel like nobody's listening. I'm talking because, you know, sometimes I feel like I was talking, nobody's hearing me. I'm trying to tell somebody something. They're not listening, and I used to be so mad because they couldn't get what I was saying. But guess what? You know what I've learned and discovered about myself? I'm not in control of them. My response changed as to how I was going to react to something. Because you see, I have a choice. People get mad. Get mad. Throwing your child off a bridge. Get mad. Setting a house on fire with your child because you're mad about something. You want to get back. So hurt people hurt people. And you know what? The hurt people hurt the most helpless victim. Have you ever noticed that? Don't pick on anybody their own size. The unexpected. The unexpected. Nobody who could have known would have went into a store. Nobody who would have known would have went to school. Nobody who could have known would have left their mother not knowing that she was going to pick a gun up and kill herself. You see, that's what we're talking about. We cannot foresee what is going to come or be in our path. We can't foresee it. But I'll tell you what, you can gain strength and challenge yourself to be ready for whatever comes your way. Because it will. I'm not here to tell you what's it going to be. I don't know. But just remember, we cannot see. But we want you to prepare yourself. And I want to tell you something. I want you to look at it like you're a traveler. Because we've traveled through 2022. And when you travel, what's the first thing that you do, Trish, when you know you're going to take a trip somewhere?
I prepare.
Yeah, we prepare. So all of us prepare in different ways. I don't know about you, but I walk around the house because I have a problem with pacing, and I will pay because I'm so excited about the trip that I'm going to take, and I got to get it in my mind. I'm going. I can't wait to get out of here. And some of us might first start packing our little things. We overpack. How many of you have ever overpacked? Me.
I have.
Yeah. So when we overpack, we say, gee, I bought too much stuff. What's the point? Because I want to get to it. When we think about traveling, we prepare to think about the weather, not knowing what the weather really is going to be like. Because the weather is so changeable. My sister the other night said to me, tomorrow's going to rain. We woke up in the same town with a beautiful sunny day. That was yesterday. Night before, it was raining. Night before that, it was windy and cold. So you cannot know. But you prepare to go on your journey. It doesn't stop you, rain, snow, sleet. It doesn't stop you from where you want to go. And if you don't believe me, when it's pouring rain at Disneyland, people are still there. I know, because I was one of them. Those are the unstoppables. They're committed to finishing their journey. All of the weather storms and the conditions I just gave you, those are the storms of your life. You can't know. We don't know if there's going to be an earthquake here in California. I wish we did, because that's one of the things I want to prepare for, because I hate earthquakes. But then you guys who are living in southern states back east, you had that hurricane that it gave you warning, but you didn't wake up thinking, gee, there's going to be a hurricane today. But all of you prepare for that. Some of you have sirens that go off in your towns that give you that warning to evacuate. Those are the conditions in your life. And so when we are facing something, when we are in expectation of something, we do prepare. But now we're talking about the things that you can't see, the things that you can't know. Are you still preparing for it? What ifs in your life? See, we want you to be optimistic, but we also want you to think about what if. The what ifs in your life, ladies and gentlemen, are everything Trisha and I have talked about. We talked about the Texas shooting. We talked about the New Buffalo, or the shooting in New York. We've talked about suicide. Do you think for one moment that Ashley Judd would have walked away from her mother had she known her mother was thinking that? No, she wouldn't have done that. So we say to you, Ashley Judd, and those of you who are non-celebrities, nobody knows, and you've suffered from a loss, you couldn't have known. You couldn't have known. For those of you that we don't know your names, we give you our support. We say to you, how could you have known? Some of you are walking around with that pain right now. Yes, we get into the pains that you're feeling, but the only way we get into it is by your listening. Trish, can you hear me on this side?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I wasn't sure. So, what is the point? You're possible. You've traveled. You know that trip that you're taking? We want you to arrive at 2023. You have traveled. Some of you have traveled well through 2022. We want you to arrive safely at 2023. We want you to say, God, 2022, it was a rough year, but I made it. Or 2022 was a great year. And 2023, I want it to be better. You are possible. You will arrive in just a few days to 2023. You cannot know. You ever taken a trip and you just didn't know what to expect? We talked about that. Maybe you've experienced a trip where you've never been before. You don't know what quite to expect, but the unexpected turns out to be discovery, learn and discovery. I know people who take trips out of the country. I don't mind that, but I'm not going. I don't mind it. And I like people taking trips. They come back and tell me how the trip was. I ain't going. Because I'm not getting on a plane. But they arrive safely. And they're the happiest people because they've been to all these beautiful places. It doesn't matter the color. They've been there and they come back and you know what they say? I went there. I had such a great time. You want to see the pictures? And you say, yeah, let me see the pictures. And so you sit down, you look at the pictures and you say, wow, they really traveled there. Be a traveler. Whatever journey you're going on, be ready to learn something. Understand it. Because a lot of us are still sitting in the dark and we say, woe is me. Woe is me. I don't like light. I'm not going to never gain light. We not only want you to gain light, but light is insight. Insight into yourselves. Don't just sit in a dark room and mourn the loss. Share their memories with us. We're ready. We've lost too. We've lost someone in our life. We've went through ended relationships. Those are losses too. That's like a death. We want to hear you, but we want 2023 to be the best year ever. I want to thank our callers today. Before I turn it over to Trish, thank you for calling. Thank you for sharing you with us. Continue to do that. We will not be here tomorrow, so please look up our videos. You can look up on Google. We won't be here today if you're looking, or tomorrow, because I want you guys to be able to be with your families. We know that you have families coming out. Spend that time with them. Hug them like there's no tomorrow. That's my message. We cannot know what this new year will bring. However, we were well traveled from 2022. Let's be more grateful. Trisha's Treasures.
So it's amazing to me because the first journal entry for my Vibe Talk journal is actually Think About Thursday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, let me read that and see how it is back when I was in 2021. So I said, today I felt the power of positivity and a special connection with the Vibe Talk family. I feel welcomed and appreciated, and I am given room to humbly appreciate myself. Thank God for giving me to Vibe Talk. I hope it goes on many, many, many times, infinity years. That's all I wrote. But
Love it.
yeah. And I'm just like, wow. And then I just think about it, and I'm the co-host now, and I'm just like, whoa, that's a lot.
Moves. Yes, possibilities.
And something else I wrote, and I just thought it would fit well with this. So I said, freedom is a common thing, but as much as common, it is as much as missing for some people. When I felt freedom, I felt afraid because how long will it last? Am I strong enough to keep this freedom that I have? But I must say that I can, not worry about if I can't. And so I drew a sun and a bird. That's literally the first thing I drew. And you told us to write. It's crazy that you're saying woe, like people in the corner saying woe is me. You told us to write wow is me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wow, this is fitting so well. Okay, so and then I just want to say that I've come so far
Yes, you
this
have.
this year. Like it's very emotional for me because it's like I can see the change. It's like you can feel it. Like, you can feel the mood in the room when you walk into it. Like, is everyone sad? Is everyone happy? Is there beef? Like, it's like that. It's like I'm a whole different person,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm cheesing right now, like smiling because because I never expected that. I really didn't. And I just want to say that, you know, just because you haven't seen the unexpected doesn't mean it can't happen. It's
Right.
very, it's very possible. It really, really is. And an assignment that you gave us for the beginning of the year of 2022 is you told us to write like an acronym with our name. And
Mm-hmm.
so I have mine, and mine says T. Thank you. Thank you, Trish, for giving me a chance. R. Remember, you are beautiful. You are bold. You are knowledgeable from the depths of your soul.
Yes, you are.
I. I am passionate about people I love. S. See what I can be, embrace what I see, and be the best I can be. Lastly, H.
Good
Happiness is
morning.
with me.
I'm gonna
Happiness.
hold on, Trish.
Okay.
I'm gonna say good morning to the person that came in. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead, Trish.
H. Happiness is with me every day, so it's impossible for my happiness to be completely gone because I have a fear of like once I have something good, it'll be taken away, and that fear is gone.
Mm-hmm.
That
Love
fear is
it.
gone now because I'm leaping. I'm leaping into my success now, and it's like I have more confidence. So there's a brighter side, to this year, and just think about in this year, like what are you gonna stop doing, and what are you continuing to do?
Love
Like
it.
that's what you have to think, because I know it's hard to give yourself an ultimatum, but sometimes it has to come down to that because it's like giving yourself a statement like, what are you going to do? What are you really going to do? And that's why it's important to reflect and to have a sit down with yourself and talk about it and write down your plan, have a goal. Like my dad always tells us, before we read our Bible study, he's always like, use your imagination so you can be there.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have a goal, see where you're going. So you can envision yourself there. Once you envision yourself there, you'll be motivated to go there. You'll be more than thrilled to see the outcome. So take that into this year. I wish you could to continue like this year to push forward. Don't give up. Keep going and be honest with yourself and motivate yourself to push forward and to continue on living life.
Love that. Love that. Beautiful words, impactful. Thank you from the depth of my soul for the things that you've learned here. And you know, we choose carefully in Vibe Talk. Not everyone that comes in here is going to have the opportunity to co-host, because you see, we're not about that. But when we needed to have a new co-host, I knew that she would be the right one. Just because of her and the way our Trish has a name, my co-host, the way she thought. You know, we used to have meetings before she became the co-host and say, wow, you know, she is blowing us away in how she thinks and her input. And so I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. You know, we work to accommodate each other. You know, Trish will tell me days she can't be here, and that's okay, because I take off some days. This year, I went on a trip. Trish took care of the whole Vibe Talk by putting up videos, by keeping you all encouraged. And there will be some days that we're not able to be here, but we're still working for you guys. Why are we doing that? Because there's still so many people who are suffering in silence. We want them to find us. And you guys are doing a good job, because you're finding us from places that I wouldn't have even ever heard of. Like, what was that, Trish, that I kept asking you and you looked it up? We had the young man, the student from Arab or wherever he was from.
Are you talking about the Arab Emirates?
Yes. Didn't ever know what that was. We looked up these places. You guys have come near and far. I want to be sure to read this. I always tell you guys I'm going to post things, and when I remember, I will post it. But I want you to hear something that I thought was really beautiful. And we're going to ask our last question for 2022 after I read this. It's called Enduring. Do not underestimate someone who has lost everything and is still here to tell you the story. Do not underestimate someone who has fought dearly for sobriety, peace, forgiveness, self-love, freedom, authenticity, truth. Do not underestimate the lonely. They have braved wars that only those who understand the absence of human connection can do. Even now, they are holding it all together while coming so wildly undone. And sometimes we may see them unravel ever so softly. I'm not done. Lost my place. Or loudly, or however their soul unties its cage the best. Do not underestimate the ones who have suffered the kind of grief that does not seem to end, who have been broken in places you did not even know existed, the ones who fall into silence because their lungs had no words left to speak. We will not always be strong, no, but we are enduring. I needed a moment. We're so ever grateful. Isn't it funny? And I don't mean the ha-ha kind, but it's interesting that when I chose to read this poem by Yuli K, I did not think about it tying in with today's topic. But there you are. I will post it. I promise you. Because I think it's one that we need to hear. Why? Because maybe it wasn't you that had any of these problems. You've had one of them or more. It could be about you. But you have endured your challenge. You have braved your storms, just like Mr. Joe in Buffalo, New York. He survived that literal storm. May you keep enduring. May you keep preparing for your well-traveled 2023. To those who have loved and lost, we say hugs. You're in our heart, our minds, our thoughts, and our prayers. Literally. We have not, you are not forgotten. And I think that poem says it well. What do you think, Trish?
I think that says it like very well. That's a deep poem. I like that
I'm
poem.
gonna post it. Yeah, it's a beautiful poem. Had no idea that it was going to match with this. Question of the day. Last question. What have you learned and discovered about yourself today? I'm going to ask that to Trish, and then it'll be turned to me. Go ahead, Trish. What have you learned and discovered about today's podcast about yourself?
In today's podcast, I learned that I've actually like transitioned from when I first got here. I was questioning myself, and I was like, this mindset is all that I know. So why do I need to change it? Like, I don't need to change it. And I get upset. Like, I was mad. I was mad because it's a change, and I'm just like, I'm used to it, man. Like, why do I need why? And then once I got beside myself, it's like it's a weird ego sort of thing where I'm used to what's normal to me, and I don't want to change it. And if I change it, then I'm gonna have to like snakes do. They shed their skin to get some new skin. And
Uncomfortable.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this podcast made me realize, I shifted from it's all I know, and that's what it's gonna be, to with that sassy attitude. It's all I know, and it's what it's gonna
But
be,
it's honest,
to
and that's what I love about you. Go ahead, baby.
yeah, to I want to know more about me. I want to know more about me, and I can't wait for the next change. I'm ready. And I just it just made me like speechless, because it's like, wow, never expected that to happen, but it happened though. And once I stepped out of my comfort zone, because my thoughts were, if I change, then I will lose people, and
Mm-hmm.
the same environment won't be the environment that I know. And it's like, that's true. That actually happened. Like, I'm down to one friend, because I've said what I always wanted to say for years, and they couldn't take it. Like my song, you ask me how I feel, and I tell you how I feel, and you couldn't take it. So
Don't
that's how it
forget
was.
to include your music, by the way.
Yeah. I will. And that's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, today I learned that I've changed a lot, and I have more knowledge than I could ever ask for about myself, and I use it
Me
for other
too.
people.
Yeah, me too about myself.
Yeah, and I use it for other
Mm-hmm.
people. And that's my discovery. Like, the things that I learn, I can help other people, instead of, because before I was not the type to take my own advice, and that is very hypocritical. So now I'm trying to take my own advice and give others advice while I'm learning.
I
So
love it because you were meant to do that, Trish. You were meant to do that. And here's a thought. Were you finished, Trish? Because I don't want to interrupt you.
oh, I was gonna say my experience. My experience here today was it was very joyful, because Raid, when he came in here, it
Yes.
just made me realize for myself, where I thought it was gonna kill me to like start knowing myself and start loving myself, because like I said, I didn't know it. And for Raid, he talks about his struggles, but we both are still here. We're still here,
Yeah, both of
and
you. Yes.
yeah, we're survivors. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So much. This is next year, this time, if all of us travel well, we want to mark this 2022 this day, because we're going to look back at ourselves and we're going to say, wow, I said that, and wow, look at how far I've come. I think this is a good one to remind ourselves of change. In closing, I want to say to all of you near and far, Trisha said so many wonderful, beautiful things that she really feels from the depth of her soul. She talked about change and the uncomfortability of change. We cannot know what change looks like until we go through it. Here is what I always say about the butterfly. This is why you see butterflies with us all the time. The caterpillar is not aware of its change. We are the ones that benefit from the joy of that change. How many of you just got what I said? It is like looking at ourselves and not recognizing that we have made these changes until we say, oh, wow, wow, wow. The butterfly doesn't know that it was once a caterpillar, but guess what? It gained its wings. Its wings were created by our amazing creator, Jehovah God. And it has learned and discovered about itself that they can fly. I say to you, fly your butterfly wings. Thank you, Trish, my amazing co-host, so full of knowledge and wisdom. Thank you. Thank you, Raid, for that beautiful call. Thank you. And thank you, audience, that's been here joining us. And we want to say thank you, 2022, for teaching us the things we couldn't have known. Thank you. Hugs and love to those who have lost in love. We are, again, thinking about you. Please don't suffer in silence. If you are suffering a crisis, emotional abuse, physical abuse, suicide, you're thinking about that, you teens, you're experience any kind of crisis, 988. 988. Crisis Hotline. Thank you, everybody. We wish you wellness, to get well, stay well, and be well as you think about what we've talked about today. And know that even though today is not Friday, you can think, you can finally arrive at your journey safely. That's if you want to. We want you to choose and choose wisely. You can face your challenges because the new year, come what may, you'll be stronger than you were the last year. Have a good day. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you back here next year, Monday. We will see you back here. Whatever you're doing for the new year, please be safe. I hope that your guests, your family members arrive and leave safely. Hug them like there is no tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody. Be safe.